message this morning, hope for the hopeless. Hope for the hopeless. Monday was the holiday, and First Lady and I had a painting project that we was going to work on at home together. Together. And we need to run out to Menards to pick up a few things. When it comes to leaving, I'm very impatient. If I say I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. The First Lady wasn't ready to go. So that means I had to wait. No arguing about it. But it was a God thing that I had to wait, because when we got on Weber Road and we going down the road and we sitting at a red light and the car in front of me took off and then it's just dead stopped. It turned to an angle and the cars behind me started blowing their horn. So we pulled around and we rolled the window down and we asked the young lady if she needs some help. And she says yes, and she was crying. Well, the first thing I'm thinking, it just ran out of gas and the car broke down. We'll pushed her to the side of the road. And as we pushed her to the side of the road, the gentleman that helped me, he got back in his truck and he took off. And I started talking with her. And I asked her, why are you crying? And she says, because I feel hopeless. I feel hopeless. I feel like I've done everything in my life, and everything in my life I've done wrong. I've done wrong. I can't do nothing right. I said, well, you just ran out of gas. We'll be okay. She said, no, it goes farther than I haven't seen my parents in 12 years. I'm homeless. I live in Indiana, but I'm working out here and I sleep in my car. And I went to get my paycheck and the place was closed and I ran out of gas. I don't know what to do. I said, well, we're going to get you some gas. First Lady and I run down to the gas station, we buy a gas can, we come back to gas, and I started pouring the gas in her car, and the gas started running out on the ground. And I looked down, there's a bullet hole in the side of her car, right by her gas tank. And I asked, I said, what happened here? And she says, I was asleep on the side of the road in Joliet the other night, and someone shot at my car. Isn't God good? Should the car have blown up through the gas tank? Probably because she didn't have no gas in it. It wasn't enough to ignite it, but God is good. But that gave Renee and I time to witness to her. Do you know Jesus? Because if you know Jesus, we know that you are not hopeless. You're not hopeless. And I'm pretty sure that all of us sometime in our life have felt that way. You have felt hopeless, depressed, alone, neglected, and powerless. Amen? I know I have. And maybe you've been through some things and you wonder, why in the world do I have to go through this? Why me? Why me? Why didn't God prevent this from happening? Woo! Tell me you haven't said that before. If you say you haven't, you're lying. We know where lies go. Because we all have. We all have said that same exact thing. Why did God let this happen to me? Why me? Why me? I'm a good person. I do everything right. I help the homeless. I help down at the shelter. I feed people. I cut my neighbor's grass. Why did God let this happen to me? We've all said it. And maybe you're here this morning and you are feeling just like that. Marriage is on the rocks. Financial disaster. Can't pay my bills. health crisis. Every time I look up, the doctor's giving me a different pill. There are simply some things that we do not have the answer for. And we say, why me? I've pulled from all of my resources and I don't know what else to do. I have no one else to call on. I've called on everybody, and in these situations, here it is. In these situations, you have choices, okay? And your choice is to live by faith or to live by fear. And we all in that situation. And when crisis comes down, sometimes our faith go whoop, and fear go whoop. On the radar. We don't live by faith. We live by fear. You either be changed by Jesus or you run from Jesus. But I tell you what, if you run from Jesus, he'll track you down. He will track you down. Because he says faith is what we're supposed to live by, not fear. And you're not alone. You're not the first one to go through this type of situation, whatever your situation is. You're not the first one. And the Bible is full of desperate people, hopeless people. In fact, the Bible is pretty clear that we are all hopeless apart from Jesus. Somebody say, y'all just missed your shout. And besides our spiritual condition, we all face situations that seem hopeless in the midst of these storms, in the midst of these situations, in the midst of this condition, in the things that I'm going through. I feel hopeless. And Jesus wants us to trust him and have faith in him. Don't miss your shout this morning. When you talk about hopeless situations, listen to this. Listen to this story here. The sea was well below sea level, and suddenly a violent storm come in, and the storms were very normal for the downdraft of the wind. And so Jesus had been teaching now, and he was traveling with his boys, and that's the disciples if you didn't know it. And so now he's human, but he's not just human, he's also God-man. And imagine the scene. The waves are crashing, the boat is rocking, water is filling, the disciples are simply trying to keep the boat afloat. Jesus is comfortably sleeping in the side of the boat. He's not worried about nothing, he's getting his nap on. The fishermen are in the storm. Now, you would think they are used to being in the storm because they are fishermen, but they're freaking out wondering whether they're going to die or not. It's a bad day, it's a bad day. The question is, do you not care about us, Jesus? Do you not care about it? How many times have you said that in your situation? Do you not care, Jesus, that I'm going through what I'm going through? The disciples in this situation is hopeless. They believe they are going to die. This is the same guy that told us to get in the boat. Get in the boat, let's go across the river. My leader, my Messiah. He's asleep. He's asleep, and the boat's taking on all of this water. How do you ask Jesus if he cares? How do you do that? Somebody talk to me now. How do you ask Jesus if he cares and he says, I hold the world in the palm of my hand? I created you out of dust of earth. I slung the stars up and the moon over in the sun right there. How do you ask him, do he care? How do you ask him that? Somebody talk to me. How do you ask Jesus if he cares? Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in a situation where things have come down on you so hard like, I don't know what in the world. You might not have said what, you might have said, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Don't put on Facebook, Pastor cussed in church now. What am I going to do? Jesus, do you care about me? Because I'm facing some terrible times. How do you ask him that? How do you ask him that? How? I know that sometimes you wonder if Jesus is asleep at the wheel. Wonder if he just don't care about my situation. But Brother Mark shows us how here that a loving and caring Jesus, just because he's a loving and caring Jesus, doesn't mean storms will arise. Somebody say amen. And trouble won't come. Somebody said that Jesus just said, let's go across the other side and not let us go down in the sea. The disciples had a choice. They had a choice, faith or fear. They chose fear. Jesus was calling on them not simply to believe some facts about him. Now these are the same guys that rode with him. That was his road dog. They traveled with him. They seen him make the blind see. They seen him make the lame walk. They seen him take leprosy from somebody. Why do they have to question Jesus? Why do they just trust him? Where was their faith? Woo. Where was their faith? Where was their faith? They choose fear, and Jesus was calling on them. He was calling them, just telling them, trust me with your lives. But check this out. Jesus speaks. He didn't wave no magic wand. He didn't throw no golden dust. He just spoke, and the storm stopped. Amen. The sea calmed down. Ooh, I wish I had some help this morning. I wish I had some help this morning. Now, can I say it again? Can I say it again? The wind is blowing, the waves are rocking, the boat is shaking, and Jesus spoke. He didn't wave no wand. He didn't say no heebie jeebie weebie. He didn't do none of that. He said peace. You can't even do that with your kids. He just spoke and the storm stopped. Anybody else would have done that would have looked crazy. Now if I'm on the boat with you, Jay, and you'd have done it, I'd be like, man, what the is you doing? You know what I mean? I've been asking Jay, what do you think? You drinking or what? But you didn't have to smoke. You gonna calm this feet out just by speaking to it. But we talking about Jesus. See, Jesus is seen for who he is. He's the King of Kings, the Prince of Peace. He's almighty. I am who I am because of who he is. Look at the book of Psalms, the 33rd chapter, the 69th verse. It says, by the word of the Lord, the heavens were made, and by the breath of his mouth, all their hosts. He gathers the waters of the sea as a heap. He puts the deeps in the storehouse. He lets the earth fear the Lord. Let the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him, for he spoke and it came to be. He commanded and it stood firm. stood firm. Now I tell you what, if you know any other God can do that, introduce me to him. Buddha can't do it. Muhammad can't do it. But my Jesus can. Y'all missed y'all shout again. I'm gonna get y'all some shout Kool-Aid or something. My Jesus can. My Jesus can. Brother Mark shares his story with us because he wants us to know that Jesus Christ is Lord over everything. Everything. So we get to the point where we let fear take over. And that we be afraid. And see, the story of the disciples, they was all freaked out. And first they were afraid because the power of the storm that the boat was in, and the fear because the power of the man in the boat is greater than the storm. Did y'all get that? Who is the man with such power? The greatness is that the one with the ultimate power is a loving, all gentle God. Amen. And the story does not guarantee us our physical safety through every storm in life, literally or figuratively, but the point is Jesus always with his people and for his people. Listen to this. Look at the Isaiah, the 43rd chapter, the 2nd and the 3rd verse. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not burn. And the flames will not set you ablaze, for I am your Lord and your God. Now, if someone is telling you this, and you've already seen the things that they already have done in your life, and the miracles they've done in your life, and they're telling you, I got you. That when you walk through that water, don't worry about drowning, because I got you. I'm God. I'm God all by myself. I don't need no help. And when you walk through the flame, don't worry about being burned. Walk with authority. Walk with your head up, because I got you. I'm almighty. Not just saying that I'm almighty, but I've already proven that I'm almighty. So when we're talking about hopeless and hopeless situations, it makes me think about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay? Now, when they wouldn't bow down to no other God, they were put in the fiery furnace, right? But how many people were in the furnace? How many people in the furnace? Who said 3? You're wrong. How many people in the furnace? Who says 4? You're right. Because of their faith and trusting in Jesus, Jesus is right there with them. He was going like, come on, dog, let's go do this. Let's go do this. See, they wouldn't bow down before no other God. They had no fear. And when it was time to step in the furnace, they said, okay, let's go. And Jesus right behind them. Right behind them said, I got y'all. We're going to be okay. Because of your faith and your belief that I am who I say I am, we're going to be all right. So what happened? Nothing. Nobody wanted to answer that one. Nothing. Because they were walking with Big Daddy. Right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home. And I want you to read Book of Mark. I the 5th chapter, the 1st to the 20th verse. We don't have time for it today. This is the reason why I want you to read it. But look here. There's a man named Legion. And he had a demon spirit. And so they went to Jesus and asked Jesus to pull this evil spirit out of him. So that's no problem for Jesus, right? That's what he did. He pulled that spirit out of him. So he called it an impure spirit. But then if you go down to verse 19, Jesus said, this is what Jesus told Legion. He says, go home to your own people and tell them how what the Lord has done for you and how much mercy that he has shown you. All right? Jesus wants you to stand around and praise him. He said, go tell somebody. Go tell somebody what I've done. See, here it is. Jesus can change anybody. Huh? Jesus can change anybody. Amen? All right, okay, we're together now. Jesus can do it. He has the power to do it. Jesus, let me tell you what he can do. Jesus can set the demonic captives, sinful captives, sexual captives, pill popping, jack dating, drinking, weed smoking, cocaine snorting, pornography watching, free. Amen. He can set you free. He can set you free. Totally free. I know everybody coming up with this hip oil and smoking weed, your pain gonna go away. You thinking your pain going away. Let me tell you, if you really want your pain to go away, give it to Jesus. Give it to Jesus. He's the creator. He created you. You are a vessel. You are a vessel. You are his. Your body belongs to him. Jesus can change anything. Anything, and he can change anyone. I'm a living witness of it. He changed me. Lord, I'm filthy, rotten, but he changed me. He can change anyone. And see, when you talk about being hopeless, talk about being hopeless. Let's look at that lady in the Bible. She had been bleeding for 12 years. Unclean. Nobody wanted to be around her. Could you imagine having not received a hug from nobody in 12 years? Nobody wanted to be you. Was an outcast on the island all by yourself. When you come in town, everybody do like this, just get out the way. They want to walk down the street with you because they said you was unclean. You was unclean, you was filthy. But what did she do? They heard about Jesus coming to town. A lot of people, thousands of people gathered around him. Now she on the ground and she got through and she touched the hem of his garment. And they said when she touched the hem of his garment that she was healed. Automatically. Now look what Jesus does. Jesus says he's walking this way. He stops and he said, who touched me? Now wait a minute. We're talking about Jesus, right? Jesus already knew who touched him. He didn't have to ask him to. But listen what happens. The disciple says, Jesus, why would you ask with all these people here who touched you? And Jesus said, the person that touched me, I want him to come forward. We're talking about thousands of people. And she came forward. The reason why Jesus wanted her to come forward, and here's the reason why. Because Jesus did not want her to think that by any superstitious that she was healed just because she touched the hem of his garment. It wasn't by the superstition of touching the hem of his garment. It was about her faith. Three people didn't miss their shout. It was by her faith that she was healed, that she had faith believing if I can get to Jesus and if I can touch Jesus, that I will be healed. I'm ready to sit down. Come here and sit down. Then I'm going to Popeyes. Listen to this. You talk about a hopeless situation. Lady named Sarah. You all heard about Sarah in the Bible. The one you could see you couldn't, the womb was closed. Some scholars said Sarah was 90. Some theologians said that she was 91. Nobody really knows. What's the difference in 1 year when you're 90? Couldn't have a baby. Wanted one so bad. And didn't believe she'd never have, but her faith alone, she conceived. She had Brother Isaac. See, there's nothing impossible for Jesus. There's nothing impossible for Jesus. And what I'm telling you right now, whatever that you're going through, whatever situation that you're facing, whatever situation you feel so hopeless that you want to give up, you give it to God. You give it to the man that's the creator of all. You give it to him today. You give it to him because he can make it happen. The question I have for you is, will he do it? You missed your shot. I'm going to ask you again, will he do it? Will he make a way out of no way? Is he a way maker? God's amazing. Here's what I ask you this morning. Do you realize this morning that you need to reach out in faith? No matter what your situation is, no matter what your past is, no matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done, you need to reach out in faith this morning. And when you reach out in faith this morning, if you got something that needs to be forgiven for, ask Jesus to forgive you. And it's done. He's not going to tell you, I'll think about it, hit me up later. It's done. Here's what I want to tell you this morning. It's because he died on the cross. Because he made the sacrifice that he made, I don't have to be hopeless no more. Because of the sacrifice that he made, I don't have to be hopeless anymore. Because of the piercing him in his side, I don't have to be hopeless anymore. Because of them nailing him to the cross, I don't have to be hopeless anymore. Because of them putting nails in his feet, I don't have to be hopeless anymore. Because I trust in faith in Jesus. I have hope. I have hope in life, and I have hope in eternal life.